Next slide, please. Before we take a lot of time, there is a lot to share. Sometimes these kind of truths, I share them with bitterness, because when I look into my journey, I find so many things have gone wrong. The school curriculum promotes dependency on employment after graduation. So it doesn't teach you anything to depend on yourself. After scoring good marks, you go to uni. After university, you score first class honors or whatever they call it. What next? You begin to structure a resume. In some schools, they don't even teach you how to make a resume. You do the whole training, 4 years course. You don't know how to do the resume. After you've graduated, then you begin to find coach people who can coach you on how to write a resume. It's ridiculous. Someone has been spending all those years learning and learning and learning. And what they are learning is just theory. What happened in Europe? What happened in America? All the capital cities around the world. What the hell is that? If you know all the capital cities, and so they employ you to be a person who will be telling stories about capital cities, which you don't even have capacity to travel to those areas. You know, even the landscape of every country. This country is this kilometer square. This one is just some descriptions which bring nothing. They only prepare you to depend on employment, because the curriculum itself is designed for you not to innovate anything. It is just designed for you to have employment from somebody. And guess who employs you? The person who did not attend school, of course, is the person who will employ you, because you have your bachelor in accounting. You know how to count money which you don't have. Someone who has money and they can't count it well, they will employ you. You count money for them, and then they don't give you that money. They just give you like 1% or 0.5% of whatever they make. So you know whatever money is coming in, but what you take home is very little. That's why there is stealing in those companies, because someone is being given $100 per month, while the company makes $3,000 per week, and you are the accountant. You are balancing all those sheets. You are balancing all the money comes in and goes out. Someone at the border, somewhere in Bunagana at the border, was about to kill the boss in the office, because the boss was receiving a lot of money from people who come in the Congo without being checked. So the guy will open the gate, the people will go into the office, pay money, and then their luggages are not checked, and then they get into the Congo. Those are some of the people who are coming with guns. So the guy is receiving like $200 the whole month. But people go to the office, they pay 50, 100, 200 every day. So the boss in the office gets around 1,000 plus dollars every single day. And that guy will close the office around 4, and will begin to go from one bar to the other with ladies. And this guy will be there until 6 to close the gate of the border. And then they are to wait until the end of the month to get $200. So if they tell that guy to kill the boss for $1,000, they will do it. The next day, they will do it, because they know how much money is being given to the boss, and the boss doesn't share with anybody else. The school curriculum promotes dependency on employment. And once you are employed, you are narrowed to think that this is an employment. It can stop at any time. You begin to use all the money you get from employment. The school system is designed to teach students to understand the world and have no room to understand themselves. Have you ever wondered You guys tell me, have you ever wondered that when you are in school, they don't teach about those who are in class? There's nothing the teacher will cover which talks about you who are in class. He is just teaching whatever happened or the formulas which are in the books. To resolve this Pythagorean theory, you use this and use logarithm, this and that. All those things are outside the student who are in class. And then, guess what the teacher will always say? Do you understand? Yes, teacher. Are you with me? Yes. Because if you say no, you become an element of doubt from the teacher. How can you say no? Are we together? You say no. Then the teacher will stop and say, what happened? Are you hungry? So the teacher doesn't give you room to explain why you said no. He will begin to bombard you with questions. And everybody in class will begin to wonder, if you say no, why are you in this class? You should walk away, man. So it's a kind of dogma which is being infused into the student because they are not learning anything about themselves. So you can't correct the teacher. You can't say anything negative to the teacher. You just have to say yes. Are we together? Yes. Together where? Me, I didn't eat last night. I don't understand the formulas. If I say no, then you say, now you are wasting your time in my class. Get out. Some teachers go ahead, even they subtract marks from the previous exam which you did, which doesn't have anything to do with the today's lesson, just to punish you. Why? Because even the teacher does not learn anything about themselves. Whatever they teach is outside. They don't give even a little time to understand why are we in this class? What are we looking to become? It's only in primary school where a student will be asked, what's your plan in future? What do you want to become? Some will say, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a plumber. I want to be a pilot. I want to be a doctor. Many of those young fellas will target to be doctors in hospitals, and others will target to be pilots and drivers. But as days go by, they realize whatever they are learning does not take them to be doctors. Whatever they learn in school does not take them to be pilots. How do you become a pilot when there is no even, there are no places where you can even see aeroplane? How do you become what you think you can become while the school doesn't teach what you want to become? The school system is also designed to teach African students to appreciate other cultures and reject their own. This is what I call incompatibility of school curriculum to really life. The really life is embedded in culture, but the education is there for you to appreciate other people's culture. Avi mentioned it at the beginning of this presentation that we've lost almost everything, including our women, because our women want to look like Indian women.
Yes.
If you put on Indian hair on your head, you are becoming a fake version of an Indian lady. If I am to love you, the simple way I can do is to go and love an Indian lady who has their hair naturally on their head. Because if I say I love you with Indian hair, I'm also faking love on you. Because it's not true. Because at night, you will remove that hair and I begin to see something else. So you are fake on me. I also fake love with you. Say, hey, my dear, hey, you are so beautiful. I'm also faking. Don't believe me. Because if I am to love your fake hair, I should go and love the person who has that hair on them permanently. So we've lost everything. What made us to lose all these things is the school curriculum, because it's designed for us to appreciate other cultures and reject our own. So everything else is better. Ours is bad because we don't learn ourselves in school. We don't even unpack our behaviors as students or as teachers. I used to sit in teachers' meetings. Whatever is being discussed in staff room meetings is not reflected on teachers' behavior, because we had some teachers who are having sexual relationship with female student in school, but it's not being addressed. They say, oh, that, and they are over 18, so they can sit and talk, and the management will address that. Wow, how the management is going to address while one of them who has an affair with the student is in the management? So you find like we don't know ourselves. When you begin to bring some few things about weaknesses from the teachers, you fuel hatred. You say, oh, so and so always brings issues about me. And the management will say, okay, if you have an issue between teachers, you can talk that one later after the agenda. Every agenda on the day is outside the teachers. So nothing about the teachers' behavior is being said. People say, oh, teachers are coming late. We need to improve our attendance. That's not enough. We need to ask each other what makes us come late. Maybe it's because the pay is too little. Choose. Either you continue or you quit. That's being late should be dealt at a personal level. Everyone, not like in a group. Oh, teachers, please improve your attendance. Please improve your attendance. Let's go to the next agenda. So we don't talk anything about ourselves. We talk about other things. Oh, we've got sponsors who are coming to visit our school. We have to design the project which we will present to them. You see 3 teachers raising their hands. I'll be part of the designing committee. So whatever they put in the project is about the weaknesses around the school, so that the person who is coming can help. But the person who is coming, he speaks English as their local language. That person did not attend any school. He doesn't even listen to whatever you say. He just has an impression that you people need money. So you will say things and things. In the end, they go into the pocket, they give you $1,000. It becomes too much money at the local currency, and the project is covered. And then the same money doesn't work for the project. 50% goes in the pockets of those who designed the project. And when they put the money in the pocket, they don't start business. They go eat the money to come the next day in school again. So we know how to spend. So teaching African students to appreciate other culture is making us lose. And education in Africa is becoming incompatible. It doesn't mix with our real life because we keep on appreciating other people's way of life. The school system is designed to select all the top performers and send them in the West, so to confuse them further. When they perform well about who killed Napoleon, who did this, who did that, who is the Queen of England, who is this, which date did the first fleet arrive in Australia from England. When somebody is able to capture all those dates, they are deemed to perform well. When they perform well, they are given scholarship to the West. And then you wonder, in the West here, they are washing the elderly people. The elderly people whom they have never seen naked, they come and wash them. Those elderly people who are sick, and then you get a little money. And before getting that job, they subject you to a training on how to perform those manual handling. And in the end, you say, oh, I'm very busy at work. Which work? Nobody says about whatever they do in this country or in the West, because whatever people do is far removed from what they could have been doing. In the US, for instance, people do those fucking jobs where they maybe in the meat industry, in washing the dead, and maybe like there are those the dead who are being taken from their tombs. After 6 months, they go and burn and clear the space to bury other people. And then they give you good money. And then you can't say where you are working because you can't occupy an office. Yet you performed well in Africa. But what you performed well is just about the literature, the culture of these people. So when you come here, you get confused further because you begin to consume junk food, you get less sleep, and then you get confused. African school teaches unrealistic things outside the local environment. So things that are being taught in school, when students come out of the school, they don't see anything they were taught in school at home. So English, I give the example there, English or French literature. There's nothing you can refer to these notions at home. When you go home and you've been attending English literature or French literature, there's nothing related to your home life. The only thing you do, you begin to speak your language, mixing with other words from French or from English. That's the only thing you can do. When people don't understand you in the street, you say, you see, these people can never understand me because they didn't go to school. No, it is because you are mixing the language. You are speaking a little bit of Swahili and a little bit of English, a little bit of Swahili, a little bit of French. You are confusing people. I even have a friend who is called Amani Peace. You see how far we are confused. Someone is being called Amani Peace. Those are two names. How can these become two names? Because Amani is a Swahili word which means peace in English. And then his name is Amani, but because it's in Swahili, they want to translate Amani in English. Then he's being called peace, peace. We have never seen anybody around the world or around the West here who is called peace. But if someone is called Amani in Swahili, it's more than the word peace. It's a welcoming person in Swahili. It's like my name, Majaliwa. Majaliwa means fortune. But I can't just begin to be called fortune because the word Majaliwa will have like 4 or 5 English words to explain the will of God, fortune, blessings, all those. But because of being confused, we begin to mix our languages with other words. So in school, we also had things like definition of terms. You will find a teacher bringing a very new word to the class and then begin to explain the meaning of that word. It can even take 3 minutes, 5 minutes explaining one word. Those definitions of terms, when we go back to our community, they become irrelevant because they can't even bring food to the table. Like I remember when I was in high school in Congo, they used to tell us one word saying, this is the longest word in French. When we go home, that longest word doesn't add any value on how we can reflect our relationship to our parent. We just have to remember the word. Like the word was anticonstitutionnellement. Then when you count the letters, it has like almost 20 letters, anticonstitutionnellement. After that, we go around the street singing that word, but it doesn't connect with you giving your father water with respect when they send you. It doesn't connect on how to sweep your room. So it becomes irrelevant.